Alright, number 2, this time we want to find the slope of the line and B, interpret the slope. Alright, so when you're given a graph and you want to find the slope, what we're going to do is what we call rise over run. What that means, this little triangle, sometimes we call it delta, we want to find the change in y, so that is called change in y over, we're going to find the change in x. So if you just saw that part right there, you need to know we need to find the change in the y, the change in the x. Okay, so if we look at this graph here, you see 2 points. So we normally go from left to right, the same way that I would read a sentence going left to right. So starting here, how many places do I have to go down until I'm even with this other point? Well, I'm here and I go down 1, 2, 3. So I'll go down 3 lines. So my change in y would be a -3 because we went down 3. Now we're going to find our change in x. So once we go down 3, we have to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go right 5 little squares before we get there. So our change in y is -3 over 5. Alright, so when you have a graph, it's the easiest thing to count it. However, there is a slope formula, and you can use the slope formula given the 2 points. So slope, the slope formula is m equals, m is the letter that represents slope, m equals y2 minus y1, that's the change, the difference, and then divided by x2 minus x1. So you have 2 ordered pairs. We're going to label them. That is -2, 2, and the other point was 3, -1. Alright, we're going to plug those in. We'll call this x1, this is x2, y1, y2. Remember, order pairs always go x first, y, alphabetical order. This is the first, this is the second. Alright, so it's going to be a -1 minus 2. When I plug it into slope formula, -1 minus 2. That minus because we already had that minus there. And then the x value is 3 minus a -2. So 3 minus coming from there, but then we have a -2. Alright, so we have 2 negatives, we add them together, we get a -3. And that's running off the screen. Alright, and then minus a negative becomes a positive, so that becomes positive. 3 plus 2 gives me 5. So you still get the same thing. Slope, rise over run, change in y over change in x. It is also called rate of change. Okay, so the rate of change. Alright, so there's a lot of terms that refer to slope. Alright, so the slope of the line, -3 divided by 5. And then for every 5 unit change in x, the y is 3. And I think we want to include that negative. Simplify your answer, so I'm going to say -3. Because we're going down.